All right, so let's get this game going. So first thing, if you have not done it already, you need to start a new project. You could also name that project. That's always a good idea because untitled doesn't help out later on. You call it Maze Game because that's kind of what we're going to do. I'm actually going to do a Yoda maze game, and you'll see why in just a second here. So, first thing we're going to want to do is figure out our character. Now, you could stick with the cat, but very few people actually do that. So here's your other options. I'm gonna get rid of this one altogether. You could use theirs. You could use any one of theirs. That would be great. You could also draw your own, which would be kind of cool. I've seen some people do some amazing ones with the paint idea, so you could paint your own. What I am going to do is I'm going to get one from the internet. So I did a search already for Yoda and PNG. Okay, the PNG kind of gives that transparent background, which really will help with this because we do not want that white rectangle. Now, what I've found is you kind of have to find one where it's no checkerboard. Like this one, you see there's no checkerboard around him, but when I click on him, I do get the checkerboard. So that one is a good PNG. I'm going to right click on it and say save image as. Okay, it has to be save image as. And just save it as whatever there. The name doesn't matter much on that one. And it will save, usually in the downloads, just depends on what you have going there. But you do need to know where it is. Now I go back to our game. And now I have this option, well, I've always had this option of upload, the one way up at the top here. So I'm going to upload my sprite and grab the Yoda and click on open. And here we go. Now, here's a little issue that Yoda's really big, and actually it's not too much of an issue, but if you want to resize something, you can just change the size right here in this. So I'm just going to make it like 70%. It's a percentage there. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to figure out where Yoda is going to start there. All right, so that's a good start. In fact, I'm move it up a little bit because I know I'm going to have some dialogue below it. Now, let's get it going. So, time to do some coding. First coding is basically this will start everything, that flag. So that's a good one to start with. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see things a little bit better. So when flag is clicked, what's going to happen? Now, I always do this. This is initialization. Very important. I put Yoda where I want Yoda. Now, I am going to say go to XY. I always start my sprites with this because I want to make sure, just in case I have Yoda moving, which he will be moving, I want him to start here every time. And the fact is, if not, if he ends up over here, then when you restart the game, he'll start there. And I don't want that. I want him starting right there. So, always a good idea to use the go to XY, and it puts in the coordinates for you. So that's kind of nice. As soon as you move him, it puts in the right coordinates. So, he's there. Now, first thing we are going to do is we are going to have Yoda do some talking. So this is a new block here in sensing. And it's an ask and wait. So right here, ask and wait. And I am going to use exactly what it says, ask what's your name, because we can have a little fun with this. So he's going to ask what's your name. And as you see here, it allows for somebody to type something in there. So you're going to type in your name. Now, if you just type in the name, it's not very exciting because it does absolutely nothing. But we're going to make it actually do something with that. So we're going to go to looks, and in looks there are these says. I pretty much never use this one because it keeps whatever he says on the screen forever. So I always use this one for the 2 seconds, and you can change the time if you want. And he's going to say hello, but again, boring if he just says hello. So we are going to get him to say hello to the person using their name. Here's how we're going to do that. In the sensing, below the ask and wait, there's one called answer. Now, this is a variable. And if I put this in right here, it will actually put in whatever the person typed. So just to see what that's like, it says, what's your name? Say Chris, and watch what happens when I click on this. He says, Chris. Now again, Not quite what I wanted, but we're getting there. So next thing in operators, we have this weird one called join apple banana. Okay, yes, it is weird, but it joins two things. It's what we might call a concatenation. So in any case, I'm going to put the answer one in the second one. In the first one, I'm going to say hello, comma, and I'm going to put a space. The reason I put a space is I want a little separation. So you say hello, comma, and the answer. And now if I put this whole thing in there, you see how it glows when it's about to go in there. Now it should say hello and to the actual person. Okay, there we go. Hello, Chris. Again, it looks pretty cool. Now, next thing we're going to ask is, so we're going to do another ask, and we're going to say, would you like to play a game? Okay, which gets me to think of an old movie called War Games, if you've never seen it. It's an old one, but very cool. Any case, would you like to play a game? And then the person should type in a yes or a no. Now, we want to actually do something with that. Now, here's what actually happens. When we do a new ask and wait, the answer variable will change. And if you really wanted to see it, you could actually click on this, and you can see the answer variable, and we'll do that just for now, just to see what happens here. But this answer variable only keeps the most recent thing, so it'll be yes or no. So we want to check. If the person says yes, we want to play the game. If the person says no, then, well, we're going to move on. So we are going to use another cool thing, an if-then-else statement. So with an if-then-else, it will do one thing or the other. And it will either do what's in here or it will do what's in here. And it depends on if this statement is true or not. So we need to come up with that statement. So what we're going to do is we want to see, did the person say yes or did the person say no? So to put something in here, the shape is kind of interesting, and usually you're going to find a lot of those in operators. See these same shapes here. And we're actually going to use the equals. So I'm pulling out the equals. And if you think about it, what I want to know is, will the answer equal, I'm going to say no. Okay, I could do the yes, but I'm going to say no. And here's the deal. The reason is that usually somebody's going to say yes. And even if they typed in the word wrong or spelled it wrong or capitalized things, it's going to be a problem. So I want it to usually be okay, and I want it to play the game. So if it says, so I'm going to put this in here, and basically if the answer equals no, then I'm just going to have it say, sorry to hear that, have a nice day. And basically that's going to be it. In fact, I could even put in, just to make sure, in the controls, is it controls? Yes, there is a stop all, and that basically ends a game if it does a stop all. So I could just do that, and that would work. So now you could have it say something totally different. You could have it do other things, but that's fine. Most of the time it's going to be yes. So the yes basically ends up being the else. And yes, little hint, you don't actually have to type in yes. You can type in anything other than no for this. So if it's a yes, then he is going to say, great, choose a level. All right, so he's going to say, great, choose a level. And this is where we're going to get into some buttons and some other things. And actually a broadcast, but we will add that to the next video. So at this point, this is what you should have, something along these lines. And if you do want a background at this point, that's fine as well. We will eventually have a lot of backgrounds. If you want to actually have a backdrop, again, that's up to you. So again, make this fun, make this yours.